camera.
You know, the way I grew up right here in Dallas is I was just going to school, having a great time, playing sports, everything. But my mom was a history degree, and my dad was a doctor, and they had all these history books all over the house. So I was reading comic books when I was like 7 or 8. But I started reading history books because they were so interesting. I think the first one I read was like Battle for Gaul, Julius Caesar, a collection of his essays back to the Roman Senate when I was like 9.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm done reading fiction. I read this now. So I kind of had a big education. By like 12 or 13, I was reading Order of the Death's Head, Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, Mein Kampf, thinking this is evil stuff Hitler's doing. I was reading, about Operation Barbarossa in Russia. I was reading all this stuff. So that was really where I got it. And then I had my mom's brother had been a big helicopter ace in Vietnam, and then he was involved in Iran-Contra. And so he would come by the house sometimes and talk about what was really going on in the country. And I had some other family that was involved in clandestine stuff and like Army Special Operations. And that was back when it was all human intelligence. It wasn't digital. It was like it was like hit teams and like real stuff and like killing Russian spies and stuff in Germany. I'd be sitting around like 8 years old hearing these stories at the table, with family talking about it. And so for me, I kind of grew up in the real world,
right?
And then other people were growing up in the fantasy land, and so I kind of had a leg up just because as a kid I grew up hearing about all this stuff.
So you were always more right-leaning when you grew up? Like you didn't have a phase where you became a liberal?
No, I mean I just grew up like any family reunion or any place I went. It was like it was mainly Army people.
Right.
They were just all like sitting. It wasn't a big deal. They were just like all. They're just all like in the real world.
Right.
Oh, we're battling the Russians, and America's going to win, and we're going to get more nuclear reactors and more weapons than them, and we just took out their people. And I'm growing up hearing all this, and then and then I go to college finally, like America sucks and communism's good, and I was like, well, I'm going to join the anti-communist movement.
So that's when it started, where you said that you were going to fight against the communist movement at that, which, by the way, was
I just
pretty
grew
pervasive.
up around a bunch of badass Americans,
right?
So And so I thought like everybody was like this.
And were you studying like radio media in college? Is that what you wanted to do?
I was already awake by the time I was in junior high. Okay. And then I was about to go to UT. I had decent grades. Like I did horrible the first few years of high school, did better the last few, had straight A's. So I was like, well, before I go to UT, lived in Austin, I said, I'm going to go take community college. And I went, and it's like, America sucks. White people are racist and evil. Guns are bad. Karl Marx is good. And I was like, so I went and checked out UT, sat in on some classes when I was like 19.
Yeah.
And I said, whoa, I'm not going to get my parents to spend money on this. And so I was like calling to talk radio. I tried to intern on talk shows. They said, no, you're not getting a job here. So the Access TV was there in Austin. And that's when I started. And within 6 months of an Access show, I had a weekend radio show. And within a year, it had top ratings. And within 3 years, it was syndicated. And that's it. I mean, by the time I was 24 years old, I was on over 100 radio stations.